Hello besties, welcome to my very first video on my channel. Today we're going to be picking out my March TBR. I have 3 books that I know that I definitely want to get to this month, but I want to pick about 5 other ones from a TBR wheel just to kind of limit my options when I do go to choose my next read, so that way I'm not just looking at my endless TBR and trying to figure out what I want. Starting off with the 3 books that I already picked out that I know that I want to get to. The first one is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I am not kidding when I say that this has been on my shelf for probably about a year. I have been just putting this off, mostly because the words in this book are just so tiny, but it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm definitely gonna read it on my Kindle. I just wrapped up reading the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Everybody told me I should read that before this, since it's the first series in the Grishaverse. So I'm hoping that the background knowledge of the magic system and just the world in general helps me to understand this better. People said that they didn't need it, but we'll see. I guess at the end of the month I'll update you on whether or not that was worth it. Going along with Six of Crows, I have Crooked Kingdom, which is the second book in the duology. This is actually a library book, so I do need to get to it this month, but it does have these super cool red sprayed edges. And from what I understand about this book, it is the continuation after the heist that takes place in Six of Crows. So I'm sure it'll be easy to jump right into after I finish Six of Crows, since it's kind of just a continuation of the story. The third book that I already had picked out for this month's TBR is also a library book, and I have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Every single person I've ever seen talk about this book absolutely raves about it, and I'm definitely excited to get to it. I'm pretty sure that the main trope in this book is unexpected pregnancy, which is not my usual cup of tea, but I feel like everybody says that about this and they somehow end up loving this book. If I do end up liking this, I think I'm definitely going to go for another Hannah Bonham Young book. I think she has another one called Out of the Woods, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about that. I wanted to give this a shot since it was available at my library before I got into another one of her books. For the other 5 books that I'm going to put on this month's TBR, I'm going to use this TBR wheel. I'm going to leave the link in the description below if you wanted to use this. This is 100 prompts, so we're going to give it a go and see if I can pick 5 books. I'm going to try to limit them from my physical TBR, but if not, I'll look on Kindle Unlimited and see if we can find anything on there. So for our first book, our first prompt is Purple Cover. So I actually have a couple of books on my physical TBR that I can use for this prompt. I have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, Daydream, which is the 3rd book in the Icebreaker series by Hannah Grace, and Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I think I'm gonna go with Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher for the purple cover prompt. I have been definitely wanting to get to this for a while, and a lot of my favorite book talkers and booktubers have raved about this book. This is one of the Lakefront Billionaires books. I feel like a fun romance will definitely be a good pick-me-up after finishing a pretty intense YA fantasy duology. Now we're gonna spin for our next prompt. The prompt that we got was Animal on the Cover. I think this might be the only book on my physical TBR that has an animal on the cover, and this is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. If you look super close, there is a teensy tiny little dog on the cover. This is a part of an interconnected standalone series. I think the other 2 books are A Part of Your World and Just for the Summer. I have already read Just for the Summer. I actually haven't read A Part of Your World. I loved Just for the Summer, so I'm super excited to jump back into another Abby Jimenez book. Now we're spinning for our 3rd prompt. So the prompt that we got was a book published between 2001 and 2024. This one should be easy for me. I feel like a lot of the books that I read are pretty current, updated books, so let's pick one out. The book I chose for this prompt is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. The copyright for this book is 2021, so it fits between our time parameters. This is definitely a book that I normally wouldn't reach for, and I've had it sitting on my shelf for quite a while now, so I kind of want to knock this out and see if I like it before I continue the rest of the trilogy. We're going to spin for our fourth book. The prompt we got was a white cover. The book I chose was In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name. I picked this book up about a month or two ago, and I'm definitely very excited to read it. It's pretty short, less than 300 pages. It's about a woman who wakes up and spends 1 hour 5 years into the future and how that affects her life. I love the magical realism element. It reminds me a lot of Ashley Poston, who I love, so I'm excited to give this book a try. Now we're going to spin for our last prompt. The last prompt that we received is a book set in a school or a college. I'm super excited about this prompt because I have the perfect book for it. And that is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series. This book blew up on TikTok, and I'm super excited to finally get into it and to hopefully understand the hype. I have quite the stack here. My wrist is breaking. Ow. So that wraps up my TBR for the month of March. Just to rapid fire, these are all of the books that I have on my radar for this month. Out on a Limb, Love Redesigned, The Prison Healer, Yours Truly, In 5 Years, Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, Six of Crows, and Crooked Kingdom. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you want, you can keep up with me on TikTok and Instagram. I'll have my handles linked in the description below. This is my very first video, so I'm feeling a little bit nervous to post this, but hopefully I will be back shortly. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be posting on a consistent schedule or not. We will see how this first video goes. Until then, thanks for watching.